Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Health Builds Wealth. My name's Aaliyah. I'm your host tonight, and I am super grateful to be here speaking to you guys today because today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to keep it real with you guys as far as this podcast journey, okay? Because the whole intention of Health Builds Wealth is to normalize healthy conversations, but also, normalize healthy conversations in order to help each other empower one another so that we can own our health and our wealth in order to live the lives that we desire, right? Because we all have the potential to do anything that we want. We all are able to create whatever it is that we want in our lives. I think it's just more so the reason why majority of us are not is because we're limited with information, with resources, and with normalizing that we can. So the more that we speak about things, the more that we bring it up and we start becoming confident with the information, the more we can apply it and the more it just becomes a part of our lives. So I want to normalize keeping it real about trying to start a podcast because it is not easy, okay? It seems easy, but it's not. And yeah, I thought it was easy. I thought it was just like, get a camera, I'm gonna just edit a few videos, kind of how I do on TikTok, and then I could just post it. But guys, let me just tell you, it is not as easy as it thinks. As you may think, it's tedious. It's really, really tedious. And I want to tell people the truth because one, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that wants to start a podcast that, wants to be in front of the camera, wants to share, but is kind of fearful, right? And may not know. Or there's people that are maybe trying to figure it out. What I've learned so far is podcasting is tedious. It takes a lot of time. I thought that if I could just record any day of the week, that within a week's by the following week, I'll have the video out. And the truth is, that wasn't realistic either. Because I'm not a editor, so I don't know how to edit videos. So I'm literally teaching myself how to public speak again, how to research information, how to edit. I'm not an editor. I'm not an editor, so I don't know. So I first started editing on Adobe Premiere because my friend who lent me a camera, and that's another thing. Let's back up a little bit, okay? Let's start with the cameras. At first, I only had one camera, and then I realized one camera's cool, but two angles is even cooler. So I had to ask a friend for a camera. Secondly, I don't even know how to use cameras. So that was something that I had to kind of get together. And then he put me on to Adobe Premiere. And I started to use Adobe Premiere. And granted, I was able to teach myself, and it took me a few hours. My first video probably took me about 5 hours to edit, because the thing is that with two cameras, now you have to sync the sound together first, and that's a challenge. And then once you sync it, you've got to edit them both. And then once you edit it, you got to do the cuts so you could be able to see both views. And then on top of that, I had to teach myself how to put the logo of Health Builds Wealth in transparency in the video. And the thing is that I have a MacBook, and if you're anybody that has a MacBook, you know that it's just even more complicated on a MacBook than it is on an HP. So girls and boys, it has been a learning process, and I am so grateful, honestly, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know until you get started. And I think that that's why they say you're never gonna really find the right time to get started. There's never gonna be the perfect time to get started. Just get started. And you're never gonna have everything that you need to get started, because you're not gonna really know exactly everything that you need until you actually take the step and get started. And that's really important in success. That's really important in building yourself and being an intentional individual. That's important in being able to own your health and your wealth, because if you don't understand that, you will be kind of like me, who was 2 years trying to over prepare for something that I'm not taking action on. And now that I finally take action, you don't even know what you're doing. You thought you were so prepared. Girl, I thought that me having my little notes and my little camera and my little lights, yeah, no, it's way more than that. So I would just say, I could finally relate to that saying. And I think it's so cliche because it's so cliche to just say like, just start, just do it, just begin. Like, you ever hear that when people be like, oh, just start the gym, or just start that journey, or just do it, just change that job, like just take the initiative. But it's very nerve-wracking, right? Because we as humans, we automatically think 70% negativity. So we automatically are going to think the worst that doesn't even exist yet. It exists in our mind, but it doesn't exist in reality. And then we don't know what to expect. And as humans, we want to know the unknown. So I wanted to just really share that. But what I have also learned is I've became super more confident with being able to speak in front of the camera. Like, at first I used to be really nervous. I didn't know how to start, but now I'm flowing. Now I got my ideas. Now I'm like a little bit more structured. And that's a great feeling, because now I'm a little bit more confident just overall on what I'm doing, and it's exciting, and it feels like I want to act on that. And then I learned how to use like AI tools to be able to I use ChatGPT for anybody that wants to start a podcast but may not know how to structure their podcast. So I use ChatGPT. I basically write everything that I want to put out, and then I simply just ask ChatGPT, can you create a 20-minute, 30-minute podcast layout or template for me, for a podcast that's called Health Builds Wealth, that is focused on empowering people to have healthy conversations so that they can own their health and their wealth. And literally ChatGPT would generate it, and I would print it. And I think I have it here somewhere, because I ain't lying. ChatGPT, boo-boo, ChatGPT. And this is for the next few months, right? This is me planning for the next few months, because it's like, I thought that I could just focus every week on something, and it's like, no, girl, you need to plan, right? If you fail to plan, you've planned to fail. And that's just the reality in everything you do, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I just wanted to keep that very straightforward with anybody who's like really interested in getting into podcasts. I would say do it for your own self. I know for me, I don't think I spoke on this. Like, yes, my goal is to normalize healthy conversations, because I just feel like people are talking about nonsense. There's just so much nonsense everywhere, but also I feel that we're misled and we're miseducated and we're misinformed. And I came to a point in my life where I was just fed up with everything, with my circumstances, with my resources, with the people around me, with my day-to-day, with who I was, with my body, with everything. And I took action, and I'm like, no, I need to learn how to live a better life. I want to live the life that I'm seeing on TV, right? And then I realized, well, that's acting, but you can get a little bit close to that. But like I mentioned to you guys, I've been in many different endeavors that has really allowed me to expand my mind and see how other people live their lives. And I'm like, I want to live like that. I want to do those things. I want to own my health. I want to own my time. I want to own my freedom. I want to own my like rights to eat healthy food. Like, I want to be in control of my life at all times. And in order for me to do that, I have to be aware and educated. So yes, that is the point of Health Builds Wealth, but it is also to keep it real, to like be real, like the things that people are not trying to tell you in the background. I want to be that person, because I'm a real person. I'm an authentic person, and I like when people keep it real with me. So it's like, if I want people to keep it real with me, I got to keep it real with others, right? You got to put out in the world what it is that you want back. So this is me taking action. But like, you can get paid from podcasting, right? And how you can get paid from podcasting is through like ads. Like, if you ever watch podcasters and they kind of like stop in between the podcast and they're like promoting a company, a brand that is sponsoring them, those would be like partnerships on how you are able to like make money from podcasting. But the truth is, not everyone has that opportunity, right? Because it takes a lot of work and consistency and like planning and structure and all of that. But also some people may not know, right? So I kind of wanted to share that with you guys, that you can get paid from podcasting. But that's something that you really have to like research and learn and apply it, right? Like everything else in life. And I wanted to say that because as I am becoming a podcaster and just speaking and creating my own brand, because this is just one outlet of me creating my own brand, I'm also thinking about like, okay, how can I monetize my podcast, right? Because granted, in the future, eventually I would get ads, and that would be a source of income. But how can I also like create income from this outlet? Because now they say that like you need 7 streams of income to be like successful, right? And I've been so obsessed with like, being successful. Like I said, like the whole journey of just even coming here right now, being in front of you, is like the obsession of wanting success, of owning my life, of owning my freedom, of owning everything that I want, and then helping other people do the same thing. Because I realized like, we could all do this. But you know how they say like you need seven sources of income to be successful? What I've realized in my journey of creating my brand, because this is an outlet of my brand. This podcast is just one outlet, and I'm trying to learn how to monetize my podcast and my brand aside from just ads, right? Because I don't want to just promote other people. I want to be able to promote myself and funnel myself. I realized that what I've learned and what I'm pretty sure a lot of people may not know, and I want to share it with you guys, is that like you don't need 7 different things to create sources of income. Like when they say you need 7 different sources of income, it doesn't have to be 7 completely different things, right? And my little lesson for today is you want to be able to create 7 different streams of income from that one specific thing. So for example, my brand is Health Builds Wealth. It is about helping people normalize healthy conversations so that they can start becoming confident in the idea of like, I can do what I want. I can own my freedom. I can have everything that I want, and I can create everything that I want for myself. I can do that. I just got to like learn the information and put in the work, and then be patient with the time from where I'm at to when I get to the level of success that I am anticipating. Okay, so how can I create 7 different streams of income from this one brand, Health Builds Wealth, right? So the first idea could be, content and social media. Like granted, I will eventually, and I'm manifesting it, will get advertisement money, right? Through YouTube. And that will be a source of income. So I guess you can say that will be one source of income, right? But then if I'm showing up on Instagram and on TikTok, promoting Health Builds Wealth in a complete different way, like maybe doing healthy things. I go to the gym, I cook things from scratch. I do a lot of natural things. Like there's so many things that I do on a daily basis that aligns with the intention of Health Builds Wealth that I would do like in a lifestyle way on social media. And eventually healthy brands or brands that just align with Health Builds Wealth would reach out to me, and that's a source of income. So that's 2. But aside from that, Instagram itself and TikTok itself pay you for your content. So if I can be consistent here with my podcast and building my brand, and then I'm showing up on Instagram to promote the brand, to promote the podcast, I'm then being able to get paid 3 specific different ways, right? Through brands on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok, but then also through the actual social media outlet through the reels, right? So that's 3 sources of income. Then the next thing could be an ebook or a book, right? Because I could go with the book and have it on hand in stores, but what about all those people that don't even go into stores to buy books anymore, right? So that's a 4th source of income. So now I can create a book on how to start a podcast. What did I go through that I wish that you don't go through? What tips and tricks, what hacks, right? And then I can create an ebook, maybe something even smaller than the actual physical book, maybe a little bit cheaper, right? And that's going to be able to navigate and guide people that want to go ahead and create their brand or their podcast. So that's a 4th stream of income, but we're still focused on this one specific like niche or this one specific thing, right? We're not trying to do a smoke shop and a bar and sell plates on the side and do hair and do e-commerce at the same time. Like, no, we're not trying to focus on all these different things. The trick is to focus on one thing and see how you can monetize 7 different ways of income in that specific like niche or thing that you're good at or thing that you're passionate about. The fifth thing can be merch. How many times you see people who have brands wear their own merchandise, right? So now I'm a walking like promotion for my brand no matter where I go, right? Like it's not just, oh, you have to follow me or oh, you have to subscribe to me to see me or oh, you have to like go into a store book or a bookstore to see this brand. Now it's like wherever I go, people are going to be able to see Health Builds Wealth. I could do the merch. And now I'm sharing merch, and those people that, you know, support me and believe in what I'm doing and love what I'm doing or are motivated or inspired or, you know, whatever it is, they're buying the merch, they're supporting, and now they're walking promotions for my brand and my company, right? So now that's a fifth source of income. The sixth source of income can be like a personalized item, right? So like, for example, I'm still trying to think about like what I could possibly do, but I'll give you an idea. I was thinking about like making journals, right? Like because I journal, and this is real. Like, I'm not a liar. I journal. Look at my, this is my, my planner. I meant to say planner, my bad guys. A planner. This is my planner, like literally. For the last few months. It's only March. But I have a planner. So why not create a Health Builds Wealth planner where we're being intentional about our health and our wealth in order to scale it, right? Because you cannot scale anything that you're not measuring. That's just the truth. You got to be able to measure what you're doing consistently in order to know how to scale it. So that can be an idea for my brand. So that's already 5 sources of income. Now going to the 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th one. Now I can possibly do like collaborations with other influencers or other podcasters, or even like a local juice bar that may want me to come in and speak about what I'm doing. Or maybe at the gym, I can host like a little event. I could walk in there and ask them, hey, like, can I host a little event like with a table, just promoting my brand and giving out planners, or, you know, like creative ways. We got to get creative here. That's really what it is. It's not about like trying to think about so many ideas. It's about how can you be creative with what you have in order to scale up. Right? Because we don't really got that many resources. So we got to make it work with what we got. So number 7, another thing you could do is like workshops in person. Like me, I go to a lot of workshops. Like I am somebody that invests in like conferences and workshops because I understand I got to educate myself and I got to put myself in rooms where they're sharing this information, and I'm going to have to pay. I have to pay the price to know, to be aware, to be in front of the information. So I go to a lot of conferences. So why wouldn't I offer a conference or a workshop for other people to come in and, you know, hear from me and hear from other people and get vendors and other health brands and wealth brands there promoting their company and their brand. And we're all together there networking and learning and sharing information. That's a 6th way that I'm able to create a source of income. And the last one, which is like has been my dream since a little girl. Like I literally told my dad when I was a little girl, he always tells me this, that I told him that I was going to buy the building that we grew up in, because I grew up in the Bronx. And if you grew up in the Bronx, you know that when you live in those buildings, like it's something different when you live in the Bronx, like that people don't understand. That's why I get a little personal when people try to speak about the Bronx, because you don't know unless you really live there. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's bittersweet. It's like beautiful and then it's like ghetto at the same time. But like when you live in buildings in the Bronx, you become family with the people in the Bronx. So it's like this whole entire 1,000 unit building. I grew up with these people. Like I'm talking about, my dad grew up with these people. I grew up with their children, and I'm pretty sure my children are gonna grow up with their children because we still cool. So it's real estate. Like, dude, maybe you can go ahead and get an office space, but now you own the building and downstairs is your office space, but you have 3 apartments at the top. You know, do your content. Like right now I'm doing it at home, But what if I buy my house or buy my condo? And I don't know if you know, there is a tax write-off if you're a business owner where it says you may be able to rent your home to your business and deduct it as a business expense. But it must follow specific tax rules to be legitimate. Here's how it generally works. So if you didn't know, if you own your home, right, you can actually rent your home to your business for a full week. So that full week, no, depending on how much you charge per night, you can get that money back, right? That's an eighth source of income per year that you could do for yourself if you're a business owner and you're building your brand. But what I was trying to say was real estate. Like you can, wherever your office is, wherever you're shooting content, you can go ahead and purchase that space. And maybe it could be like a little extra space at the bottom, but now you have apartments on top. Like I know you guys seen those buildings where there's like shops at the bottom and then there's apartments at the top. That can be your seventh source of income. Now you're a real estate investor, you have a brand, you have merch, you have a book, you're working with other vendors to do events maybe once a year, and you're going to local places that align with your business so that you can do workshops and you can promote your business and make an extra source of income. And you're making 7 sources of income off of one thing. You're not breaking your head. You're being creative off of one thing that you're passionate about or that you're good at. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that, because that's where I'm at, guys. I am building myself up. I'm learning. I'm getting educated. I'm teaching myself. I'm failing. I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm going through the process of figuring it out on this podcast journey because I'm really passionate and I'm really grateful, and I'm loving just what I'm doing. I feel like I'm really serving at the highest level that I can, and I'm grateful to God. But I wanted to just share you guys with that because that's the journey that I'm on, and I can only share with you what I've been through, and that's who I am. And that is why Health Builds Wealth has came into fruition, because that's just who I am. I love to share value. I love to share what I know so that other people can take it and do amazing things, because nobody put me on. Literally, I had to put myself on, and I had to put myself in rooms, and I had to ask questions, and I had to be uncomfortable, and I had to shed things and people and friends and environments and habits to be able to find the information so that I can apply it, so that I can be everything that I desire, but also a walking testimony for those that may not know the information and the resources are out there. So I hope you were able to learn something from today. I wish you the best of luck. If you like this, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I gotta start learning to say that in the beginning, but I'm learning, right? Because I was watching YouTube videos and I was like, yo, people say that in the beginning, but I remember to say it in the end. But it's a process, right? Maybe I could do that and I could put a little tag. But listen, if you support, if you learned something, you enjoyed it, support, subscribe, and send it to anybody that you think that may need this information. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you on another episode of Health Builds Wealth.